call this meeting to order. And we're going to talk about FMLA. So, who wants to start?
Well, I'll just start us off a little bit here. And after speaking with people at the Highway Department and also with EMS as well, just looking at our policy and what the FMLA says and what's happening, and you know, as far as some possible changes that could be made in the future towards the handbook to, you know, I guess what I would say, cure some things that are happening that I think are abusing the system, basically. I don't know if someone in the Highway Department wants to kind of weigh in, or if I kind of...
I can.
What's that?
I can. We have, first of all, Art Adams was approved with the FMLA. And he does go in and out of AFib, which I understand. My concern is, and his cardiologist did fill out his FMLA. It says he can miss 1 to 2 times per month for 1 to 2 days per episode. But my concern is, it says he was not able to do essential job functions. He can do no lifting, okay? In our handbook, every one of our guys are in our job descriptions. Every one of our guys' job descriptions state that they have to be able to stand, sit, able to physically perform assigned duties, including sitting, walking, wheeling, standing for long periods of time, lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling weight over 50 pounds. So if we're approving FMLA saying he can't lift at all, I have an issue with that because that's going to cause trouble for us. The problem is these guys aren't taking their job descriptions to the doctors when they have these filled out. So Art was our first gentleman we had do
Say
this.
names.
Don't say names.
Huh?
Do not say names.
Oh, sorry. This gentleman was the first one who did it. Our second gentleman, I attached the job description to his. The problem with his that I have problem with is it says he's going to be off for chronic lung disease. But then it says he will be seeing a hematologist and a vascular doctor because he has blood clots. That has nothing to do with the chronic lung disease. Same incident, 1 to 2 days per month, 1 to 2 times per episode. So, but in his, when I did attach the job description, it states, during his lung disease, he will not be able to physically meet any of the available work requirements. So, he's already missed, well, this week is his 3rd episode. He texts in and says, taking a sick day, FMLA. We don't know if it's his lung disease or not. No way for us to know.
What's the proper protocol of employees to call into work?
Usually they call or text Clint. Most of the time they'll text him. But he texted in and just said, taking a sick day.
Is that countywide? Is that the proper protocol countywide? How do all the other offices do it?
They have to dictate if they're using FMLA.
Well, I know, but how do they call in?
Just to their department head.
Okay.
So,
And then they'll put it on the time sheet and I put the time sheets on the paper.
Sheriff's Department to the supervisor.
Okay.
so Monday he called or texted me and said, taking a sick day, FMLA. My response back was, okay, I need a doctor's note stating what is wrong with you, and I need a fit to return to duty work. This is his 3rd occurrence.
In a month.
In this month. So Tuesday, I received a call Tuesday afternoon from him and says, I'm going to be off the rest of the week. It's my sciatic nerve, and they told me it's not covered under FMLA, so I guess I'll just have to see what you guys are going to do to me Monday for taking time off. I reached out to Brittany because I assumed he called her. She said no, so I don't know if it's when I told him he had a doctor's note that the doctor at the clinic told him that's not covered under this. But a couple of concerns on here is you're writing him off for a lung condition. He's not seeing a pulmonologist or a respiratory therapist. We're going to see a vascular doctor and a hematologist for lung or for blood clots in your legs. That's 2 different episodes. but the clinic, the lady at the clinic who's only been there a month is filling out the paperwork based off of what he's telling her. I feel like the specialist should be filling it out.
Does she have the, right. Right.
Then we received another FMLA this morning, which Tara sent the paperwork to him back on March 21st of 2024. We have two different pages, there's 4 pages. We've got a couple different pages that are this, 2 pages that are the same. But page 2 where it says start approximate date, 8/2 of 24, how long will it last? 12 months, which would be Saturday. But then on this, on page 3, now the doctor fills out, begins in March of 25 and is gonna last till July of 26. Same incident, they don't give a reason on why he's seeking medical conditions. And then it just said he's gonna have to see a cardiologist and a urologist, okay? But then when it comes to the job, essential job duties, they mark, will not be able to perform, will be missing to attend doctor's appointments. But then it says he will need to miss 0 to 3 or more times a week for 10 or more hours each time. We're only on 4-hour days, and if you're giving him the approval to miss 3 days a week
Out of 4.
out of 4,
Well, but you have to remember too, we're just, and let's try to keep particulars out of this as much as we can. But what we're talking about particular is intermittent FMLA.
all of these are
Normally, a
intermittent.
person that would come and be on FMLA would take like 12 weeks. I
Right,
mean, so
right,
it's-
all of these are intermittent.
And you still are only allowed to have, I mean, even somebody that says, oh, we're only taking 3 days a week, they're still only allowed those number of days per cycle.
Right.
So once those are gone, those are gone. And somebody that's using 3 days a week at a time, that's not gonna last very long. But I think what we have to do is pay a little, I mean, these have never been something we've done a lot of, and I think that the offices that handle it, the auditor's office that's done it, I think they're doing a great job, but it's a lot of paperwork. And I don't know if it just needs to be that when they come in, I sit down with, Brittany, and we scrutinize them a little bit more, instead of just like, okay, yeah, I mean, Christine and I spent a couple weeks ago going through our policy, and, the first thing we looked at was, for example, is it okay for somebody, at the clinic to be writing these up? Per our handbook,
Right.
it is. It just says healthcare provider. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something that can be changed. There's things in there about, we can request, the county can, like a second, basically a second opinion on it. Now, we have to pay for it. If I'm correct, we looked that up, but I'm pretty sure if somebody comes in with this, we can say, okay, now we want, don't take it personally, but we want to check this out. We think somebody else needs to give us an opinion on this. We can send somebody to do that, but again, it's on our dime. Another thing that we talked about, Christine and I looked at, was certification or recertification. So can we request, okay, so we got this, especially on the intermittent, it's one of those things where the earlier cases we had with FMLA, in my experience, was somebody that had a long-term debilitating sickness or illness, had used all their time, and was like, okay, I have to get treatment for this, so I need to miss 2 months. And it was a large block of time. And generally, they would come back and say, I'm okay to come back. I don't know that we made them bring a doctor's note or anything like that. And then if they had to leave again sometime, we would make them recertify, saying, okay, you need to certify again that this is still an ongoing issue. We have a provision that requires, we can require certification like once every 30 days. So we could tell somebody, no, you need to go back and get recertified again, except for, and I'm looking for it, and I thought I had it marked, I believe it says we can't do that with intermittent FMLA. That can be changed. With the course conversations with you.
That can be changed,
That can be, I think our.
This is not law, government law, then?
No, I think the intermittent part, I think for whatever reason, we wrote it that way, but Anthony at EMS and I I'll say he helped me out, because we were talking about a lot of this stuff. We found where you can require that, and so that may be something that we need to look at changing, whereas we're not getting, they can bring these blanket things in and say,
Well,
2 or 3 days, but we can require recertification every 30 days.
yeah, but let's talk about the first case. It says that it restricts their job duties.
That I think is
And
different, and
That one's different than the other two.
right, because I don't mean, the purpose, I think, again, I have an email that I
Because if
drafted.
we don't have job duties that fit in that, then how does that work?
Well, that's very, very touchy, but we've had it before in the
Yeah, we
county where it's
have,
happened, where
yeah.
somebody's come back from FMLA, and, we had tried alternate, job duties, and it didn't work out. It's always gonna be touchy, but I think that, again, in situation, one of the things, not to get the particulars, where you have somebody that's got FMLA for one listed reason, and they come in and tell you it's another reason, that's not covered. They don't get it.
But when they call in, they're just saying, I'm taking an FMLA.
Well, that's
We
what I'm
have no idea of knowing, and the only reason I requested a doctor's note is because his paperwork says 2 occurrences, 1 to 2 times, and this was occurrence number 3, so I said, you have to do a doctor's note. Well, then, that's when he called back the next day and said, oh, well, it's my sciatic nerve, it's not under FMLA.
Well, that's what I'm saying is we're gonna have to do, Brittany and I or whoever, we're gonna have to sit down and we're gonna have to make the process much more, this is the way it happens. It's not just you're gonna call in. We have to have some kind of documentation, or it's not gonna be allowed. It just can't. And again, part of this, it's hit, like I said, just kind of like an avalanche, because in the past, we'd have 3 of these a year.
Right.
And now all of a sudden we got 6 and, 6.
And we have 2 more coming that we
Well-
know of, and it's all because the second gentleman went to the clinic and he was calling in saying, take an FMLA day, so everybody's like, oh, it's that easy, we can just do that too.
Well, and that's where maybe, again, and I'm not trying to, it maybe it's in that situation, until we get this ordinance changed to where we want, we probably need to send them to get, and again, I'll look and see where it's in here, but I know Christine and I looked it up. We send them and they have to get a second opinion, and we can tell them where they're going to get their second opinion. I believe we can say you go here, but again, this is not that different from, you see in the news, paper of, certain physicians that write lots of subscriptions
Right,
for
right.
drugs.
But how can, and I don't remember which case it is, that they have whatever, a heart issue. How can, if the doctor, whoever, their heart doctor, whoever it is, writes this, how can the clinic give them FMLA days?
Well, that's because
Is
it
that
says,
part of what we
it
need
says
to,
healthcare
that
provider.
needs to be, it needs
If
to be
we-
updated?
If we can, like I said, that's again, you're talking about a law.
Right,
It's
is this the,
ours says
law?
ours just says healthcare. It says it's like generic. It's very generic.
But
It's
when
like,
we looked at the FMLA policy though, that Epic furnished us, it says a PA is qualified. And the clinic,
Couldn't
it's
it
a
be
PA.
the PA's, the specialist PA filling it out, not just,
According to the
Hmm.
FMLA, it just says PA. And so it makes it very wide of who can do a letter. And
So-
I agree, somebody that's never seen this person, that is only going off of what this person is telling them, shouldn't write a letter.
So, if we do that, where we gotta send them somewhere, so we shouldn't let them work until they go get the second opinion, right?
I wouldn't think so. No.
So do they still get paid while we're waiting on? Okay.
I mean, to me, that's at least,
Well, I think that's what we need to do then. That away, cause then we have to set it up. I know it's gonna cost us, but if you got somebody with a heart problem, you can send them to Indianapolis, like to Extension or something like that. It might take 2 or 3 months to get them in, but they ain't gonna get paid, so maybe that'll.
the other thing is,
Well, it will.
No,
You just
understand.
can't call one of them doctors up and get in immediately.
No,
It
right.
ain't gonna happen.
So the other thing that Christina and I looked at was, and this was an offer that had been made in the past, and we never really investigated it, but like Epic they have a service where they handle your FMLA, where they are the ones that they're saying, no, this is the paperwork you need, no, you didn't do this right, no, you're not just gonna call in and say, I'm missing today, it's my sciatic nerve when it's this. And they run it for you, but it's pretty expensive. We had them get a quote on it, I think it was, they gave us
$7,000.
yeah.
How much?
$7,000.
Per year?
They charge us so much per employee per month, and it totals to about $7,000 a year.
But it may be worth it. I mean,
Well, I mean, that's why we.
Do we have any issues in any other department?
No, I mean, like I said, again, Anthony and I talked a little bit about it, and I think it had more to do with like how their shifts were and how you calculate some things. But, no, I mean, like I said, I can literally, I've been here since 2013 as a county attorney. And I mean, before the last 6 months, maybe, at least ones that were brought to my attention, I don't know, maybe they were processing more that I didn't know about. That's the other thing is we've kind of thrown this and said, okay, Brittany, you're gonna do this. And maybe we need to go back and look and say, somebody else needs to be involved too. Maybe we need 2 sets of eyes on this, and we need, just to make sure that everything's flowing, or hire Epic to do it. I mean, I think that it's just kind of one of those things where all of a sudden, it was working the way we wanted it to, but now all of a sudden there's a loophole, there's something's been found, and I said, we can't have that without this entity or this clinic that's just writing
Okay,
off
so-
on stuff.
Okay,
So let's
question
go-
real quick, Jim.
Mhm.
When, on the approval paperwork that you send out to them, both of the 2 that I have says, returning to work will not be, a doctor's note will not be required to return to work. So maybe.
But no, I'm saying our plan says we can require recertification every
Okay,
30 days.
I'm just saying on the paperwork that says approved that's been sent to 2 of the employees so far,
I haven't approved.
I know,
No.
but our
Yeah.
policy says we can require
even if we mark this,
Yeah,
that they
I
don't
mean, that's
have
like they don't have to have a doctor's note every single time they come back from a 2-day. This says we can require recertification every 30 days. So every 30 days, we can tell them, no, go back.
And
Go
that's
back.
filling that paperwork out every 30 days.
Yeah, go back and get recertified. That covers whatever, that particular thing, but I mean, it may even say, like you gave me the time period of 1 year and 3 months. This says in here, we can require recertification every 30
Okay.
days.
and that might be how we get around the 2 that have already been approved, that say that they don't have.
No, we
that.
can't go back.
We can't
We're
tell
not going
them they
back.
have to be recertified.
Well, we can ask them to recertify.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Because
then.
we've not changed it, what I'm saying is, if we make any changes to this, to our ordinance, those people that were already approved, we have to treat under the old. But
Okay.
we have recertification here, and it says, the county may require an employee to report periodically during leave, okay? The county may receive certification for leave taken due to an employee's health care condition, no more than every 30 days. Now, I do believe we found here, we said that we need to look at the intermittent leave on that, but.
Now, the problem is, we get 20 or more FMLAs a year. We have ever since COVID, but they are for surgeries, maternity leave. We've had some for intermittent, where somebody has an illness in the family, so they have to help get them back and forth for doctor visits and stuff. This is the first time that we've ever had it where they are doing this. And what
So-
we've explained too is if they submit the paperwork and we may not agree with it, that a PA is signing off without any knowledge of prior history, but if they're signing off and doing a letter, she can't refuse it. Unless we change our policy and requirements but still stay within the FMLA laws, that employee can sue the county and can sue the supervisors
Yeah.
personally. So we have to walk a fine line.
Okay, so what do we do about the case, I don't remember which case it was, where the paperwork says that they can take 1, 2, or 3 days twice a month, and they've already used those, and now they're on their 3rd of the month, third case of the month. they've already taken their
They're
two.
either, they either need to,
They've already
they
used
either need to
both.
get recertified, or that's gonna be absence without leave. I mean, it's gonna be absent, leave without
And then
pay.
that absence isn't covered on FMLA. That FMLA protection isn't there on the
Well, he
third day.
wouldn't have told me it wasn't FMLA if I hadn't said you need to bring a doctor's note. And he went to the clinic and they wrote it for his sciatic nerve, so then he called and said, well, it's my sciatic nerve, so they told me I can't come back till Monday. And they told me it wasn't covered. But otherwise,
Well, but is that a,
he
Is
has
that
no
a-
PTO, so
right,
he
so
will
he
be
has no
written up.
time, so is that an incident where he gets written up?
Yes,
Right?
yes,
He gets
will
written
be
up,
written
right?
up.
Issues,
Okay.
and issues, they have to be 50/50.
So how many days a month can you have on this?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Just depends on what the doctor writes.
Yeah, well, that one said
You're capped
one
at
to-
12 weeks.
1 to 2
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
1 to 2 days.
A week?
An incident.
Annually, how much can you?
It's 12 weeks.
12 weeks total.
12 weeks. So if a doctor says that person can have 0 to 3 days a month, then that person can do that until they cap off at 12 weeks, because there's a calendar that she keeps track. And once they hit 12 weeks, anything over that, they're not protected on FMLA.
So then do they reapply?
No, they have to wait until the next time period.
Who wrote this law up anyway?
So, the next time period, what is the next?
Federal
year?
government.
Yeah, it's federal government.
Wish I got
The other
that
thing
law.
is I'm
Yeah.
seeing here, there's a fitness for duty certification, and I don't really care what their letter says. Our policy says the county may require a fitness for duty certification before an employee returns to work.
What, I mean, that's just like at work. If you happen to get hurt, or if you've been sick, and if you carry a CDL, whether you've already had your physical or not, you gotta go back and get recertified. I mean,
Mary?
So, I have a question about the 12 weeks. 12 weeks, if we went on for surgery or whatever, and it's continuous 12 weeks. The intermittent is still only within the 12 weeks, it's not at the year calendar?
They have 12 weeks total.
Yeah. Total, right, okay, so.
But that 12 weeks could
so-
last the
so-
entire year.
So it
Yes.
could
Right.
be 480 hours.
Yes.
Right,
So that
so
they
it's-
they have, in essence, a year to use that and build up to the 12 weeks.
Right, so the intermittent is a different animal.
Different animal than the regular.
Than the regular that we're really used to, is the full blown, when you really need it, you have it, and that's what FMLA, what the intent was for it to be there for job protection. A lot of this came into play with the PTO policy. Because that's when we saw the rush for the, play telephone and tell everybody how to do it. Because if they don't have enough time to cover their PTO time, there's a policy in place of the occurrence, right?
Yeah.
Of that you're off without pay, strike one,
Well,
strike
it
two.
should have never been allowed to have anybody off without pay, but it was, and when that got stopped, that's when this happened.
Right.
That's
So
exactly
that's
when
all
this
this
happened.
happened. So now it is, so let's step up our,
Yeah.
as I say, our toolbox. Okay, now we have FMLA. And that's where, when coworkers are coaching coworkers on, hey, this is how you can do it. And so, but technically, if you have, we have maybe the potential of, say, 6 individuals out on intermittent FMLA. There is a third of your workforce for blizzards, for summer projects, because if they can all take, their 40 hours a month off.
That's what it boils down to, is 40 hours a month.
That's what it comes down to.
If we can't.
Intermittents are 2 episodes at 1 to 2 days per episode.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a max of 4 days.
Well,
Right.
like I said, to me, again, the solution for even the intermittent is, one is you get a second opinion, or you make them recertify every 30 days. Because, like you said, even the ones that are like 1 to 2 days, I think the ones that were given were for a month. Okay, after 30 days, you need to go back and get recertified. We need you to recertify your FMLA, come back again and make sure nothing changed. We can ask for that once every 30 days. So to me, that's what, now, what I did finally found it. Anybody else that's not intermittent, and this is what, you know, Christina and I looked at that we probably need to change, is I was kinda like, oh, it's right here in front of us. We can require fitness for duty to return. So again, like Rick or whatever you guys are saying, we could say to them, okay, you took your little 2 or 3 days of intermittent leave. Now we need you to bring a letter back saying it's okay and what conditions you're allowed to work in. Except for our policy says we can't ask for a fitness for duty for intermittent. So what I need to find out is if that's something that can be changed, because
If that's
yeah,
a law, or if that's
yeah, if that's something we did, or if that's something, because anybody else, let's say like, for example, that we've had instances in the past, you know, for somebody that had, you know, major surgery, we could say to them, nah, you're off on FMLA. You're not coming back to work until we get that fitness for duty, and with that fitness for duty, we need to know what it is you are fit to do, because I can remember at least in one case where they said, no, they can't do this, this, and this, and then the options were either give them an extended leave of an absence where they're just not paid and try to get healthy again, or we try, there was different things. There's accommodations that you have to kind of look at, but I think to me it's that recertification, it's the combination of, you know, asking for a second opinion, and again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if you think, wait a second, this person's 45 years old, 50, you know, they look to be in good health, and I mean, can't get into a lot of, but, and then the other thing would be, like I said, see if we can, if there's a way that we can require fitness for duty with intermittent as well. I mean, it seems kind of ridiculous because, you know, you're gonna have somebody, again, let's say the intermittent is gonna take 3 days off in a month, then you're gonna require fitness for duty, or, you know, return to duty. It may take them 2 of the days that they're off just to get that fitness, you know, return. But again, I think that, I mean, it's well within our power to ask for recertification every 30 days. And I think that what we do, and this is nobody's fault, but if we ask somebody for recertification, what's on right now, I think we need to be a little more strict with our paperwork and say, this is what we need, this is what we need, this is what we need. And we can go through this line by line by line and figure out exactly what it is we can require them to do. I think that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Okay,
Or
so,
we hire these people to do it.
so who implements this procedure?
It's me and
Is that
the audit.
Brittany?
Well, you could make it to where the policy, it has a checklist.
Okay.
And that way, anybody that is wanting to get on FMLA, they know in advance, this is the county's policy, and this is the checklist that you're gonna have to do. And we may need to make it to where, yes, we have to pay for a second opinion, but if you pay for 1 or 2 second opinions, and if it's people that are just trying to do this epidemic of trying to get time off without pay, then that's gonna stop it right there, because it's going to get FMLA denied, because they're not gonna be able to get that second opinion to write a letter.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen?
Yes.
But,
So
and
we-
again, and I appreciate, and I'm not, I know the highway department, probably feels like we've not addressed this, but the problem is, and again, I'm frustrated like you guys are, this is not an overnight thing. So when I get an email every 3 days about it, that really doesn't help. Because when I have to stop and read the email or call somebody and tell them we're working on it, that makes me stop whatever we're doing to do that. We are working on it, I promise you, okay?
I'm just concerned that, I know once they turn it in, Brittany only has so many days to approve it.
I understand.
And considering we got another one this morning, I have one that's waiting on Brittany to send her the paperwork, and another one that goes to the doctor August 14th.
I guess I'm talking more about the emails that say, I think we're gonna have 3 more people. That doesn't help anybody. I mean, to hear that maybe other people are doing it, we are trying to get it done, we're working on it. But it, you know, we can't, and again,
So the two
to change the handbook, we have to, I mean, I've got it if we need to change it, we can do it at the meeting on the 11th. I've already got it advertised. So between now and the 11th, if there's things that we figure out that we can do, that's when we can do it. Can't happen before then, because again, we have to put it in the newspaper, we have to give it, you know, newspaper only publishes 2 times a week now, so we're kind of at their mercy, but, we'll figure out how to get it done.
So do you think that we need to go ahead and hire Epic to we're gonna do all
Well,
this to,
let's figure out what we need to do with these three cases first, and then
The
we'll
two that
circle,
are
we'll circle
approved,
back to that.
we cannot ask for recertification on, or we can.
We can.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding.
So
it
what
properly.
does Robin need to do with case 1, 2, and 3?
Well, when is their 30 days? When was it initially? These are details. We need, this is probably not on the record stuff.
Okay.
This is stuff that like
Okay.
we can sit down and figure out when it started, and we can adjust our timeline accordingly.
Okay.
To what we're gonna,
Alright.
does that make sense?
Okay.
So I know we're still within the month on all of them, aren't we?
The one just turned his in today. The
Right,
other
okay.
two have been approved for at least a month, if not 2.
Right, okay, so we're fine. I mean, this is one of those things that like, I know this is the busiest time of year, and it's hit hard, we'll figure it out like we do most everything else.
Okay, so then let's circle back to the handbook changes. So we are going to advertise, we've still.
I already have.
You already have. You have to do research on federal law to see what we can and cannot put in, right?
And if there's things that I suggest, what I'm saying is, before the meeting on the 11th, I will get them to you to say, this is what I found. I went on ahead and advertised for it, even if we don't do anything, just so it's there, so the ability's there. Does that make sense?
So we have a regular commissioner meeting on the 4th, and then we're gonna have another one on the 11th.
Oh, no, then I advertised for the wrong day.
So,
No, let me double check. I may be talking, I may.
Well, no, because you had to do it, it has to be 10 days
I-
before the meeting,
yeah,
so you
I'm-
couldn't have done it on the
I'm-
4th.
I may
I'm
be.
okay with that, we
Okay.
just,
Well, let me double check. I'm talking dates and I'm a little, but
no,
I,
that's what Christina, that's what was in the,
okay.
I mean, that's what you said, we was gonna.
Well, I
get
think
you
I
the-
did it so I could do it as quickly as possible.
Right.
I did the first Monday that I could do it. And
Right.
again,
And it was
remember,
what I
it's,
got here is the 11th, we're gonna
Okay.
meet again on the 11th.
it's so it's some of you, and again, remember, I just need, Rick, if you gotta do something, I just need 2 of you here.
yeah, no, understood. No, I'm good with, we scheduled the 11th, I'm just making
Yeah.
sure
Yes.
so we're gonna have a commissioner meeting 3 Mondays in a row,
Yeah.
Maybe.
maybe.
If we don't need the one on FMLA,
No,
then we don't
okay.
need it. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying, like, we can always
All right.
say, I
So
just
then-
wanted to have it there. the
Yes.
quick-
Yeah, so let's circle back to what Andy brought up. Hiring the services of Epic to help, the auditor's office with FMLA. Auditor's office, what's your thoughts?
If you've got a set policy, then I don't think it's necessary,
Okay,
and we haven't had any issue until this department.
okay,
I mean, you've got people that are trying to work the system.
And they're fairly easy, other
Yeah.
than this.
Most of them are just people going off for surgery and maternity leave. I wish it could be one of those where these kind that you could only punt those to Epic, but they charge per employee
Yeah.
per month. So you
So it
can't,
wouldn't
you,
matter.
so if we did that, we'd be paying $7,000 a year for maybe a handful. Or if we can control this department, then you'd be paying them $7,000 a year for just simple FMLAs.
okay, alright. Well,
The recertification, is that, they go back to the original doctor or do they go
Yeah.
The 30-day recertification,
It's
says any health provider.
wherever they go, but that's again where we can require a second, if we,
I think it'd be worth requiring a second opinion, even though the county has to pay for it, because you just gotta make
I think
one, maybe 2 examples, and that should
be
slow
cheaper.
this pandemic down.
That'd be cheaper than $7,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I know what Christine is saying, and I wanna make sure that we're all, this FMLA is in a policy for all the right reasons. It exists for everything, so, it exists it was created for the idea that if somebody needs to take off for a serious health condition for themselves or a close family member, that they're not going to lose their position and their status at their job. It's a job protecting thing, and we want that, and we want to make sure we're adhering to that. It's just that, once again, as many things that happen in life, there's people taking advantage of it. They're abusing it. And specifically, when the research I did, it was under abuse of FMLA. So it's not uncommon. It happens.
Yep.
It's just, I want employees to feel comfortable if they do find themselves in a situation that they can come and utilize this, because that's one of the things that makes a job like ours, you know, attractive, and we have it, you know, that it's available. But at the same time, it's like I said, the problem is like I didn't understand, you know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, everywhere else in the county, we stopped this practice of, I don't have any hours, so, but I need to take Friday off, so just only pay me for 9 days this period. That's not acceptable. That's, you're fired. I mean, that's, you know, that's not showing up for work, you know, basically. So, and maybe, you know, we should have known more about that. But anyway, I mean, I think we're doing what we can to.
You do have the other problem, though, of from what Robin said earlier, you've got somebody that it says they can't do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other thing, something to think about is the handbook and PTO policy says that you can save up to 10 days of PTO, so they can take all these days unpaid. They can have 480 hours of unpaid. If they're only getting 12 hours a month, they save up 10 days, 10 months worth, or, you know, 16 hours a month. So it's gonna take 8, 9 months before they have 10 days. Then winter comes, they don't have to use FMLA, they can use their 2 weeks vacation. So really.
And again, the reason that was put into place was thinking that those people that are coming off of 12, like, let's say I go and I have to take my 12 weeks, and they're not accruing benefits. Again, I think for the collective good, the 10 days, the reason was, all right, I just came off this major surgery, I'm coming off of 12, I may not be able to work 40 hours a week.
Right.
And so the idea is, hey, why don't we not make you burn all of your time, so that when you come back from this major happening, if you need a day or two, you know, transition or once a week, you have been able, because our old policy said you had to burn it all before you went to FMLA. You could not have a single hour. But then what we found with that is, again, people then were coming back and we were turning around and they were asking for a leave of absence without pay for 1 day. Because the third day back to work, they didn't feel good and they needed to go home, and it was based on their previous medical procedure. Well, they didn't have any, we made them burn all their days.
Right.
So they didn't have any days they could take off after they got back from their FMLA until they accrued it again, which again, at that point, we were accruing once a year, not, what is it, monthly or
So
whatever.
how many PTO days does employees get?
It depends on your years of service. But it also allows for, you know, I may come back, like I said, I had heart surgery, so I'm off for 12
Right.
weeks. Well, I'm gonna have follow-up appointments. If you don't let somebody have at least the option, then I gotta leave for my doctor's appointment, then I have to go.
Right.
So I'm either unpaid or I get to burn my PTO day.
So I didn't know if you, I mean, so let's say somebody's been like you guys, okay, how many PTO days do you have? I mean, I don't know, so that's why I'm asking. Do you have like 10 a year, 12 a year, 14 a year, or what?
If you're an employee and it's your first
Yeah.
year of service,
You get like 6
It's-
hours a
yeah, it's
month.
like it's just shy of 6 hours a month.
So you can only use 6 hours per month.
yeah.
You can't burn it all at one time, right?
No, you
burn while
can,
you work.
but you have to wait for that 6 hours to accumulate. So if you get 6 hours a month and you work 3 months and you got 12 hours of time off, then you can take
You
those
burn a
12
day.
hours at once. Because if you work 8 hours a day,
I don't think that's right.
But if somebody accrues like 6 hours, then, and that's all they have, and that's all they should be able to take off, is 6 hours.
but if they get 6 hours a month, then that gives them, I mean, you figure that's 72 hours a year. So
Okay.
you
Well,
take,
I
and
mean,
you take a vacation,
Which is still
Right.
better
You
than
use
our old
40 hours.
policy, which was we just dumped a whole mess of days, January 1st. And so they immediately, January 1st, had 2 weeks of vacation.
plus PTO.
Well, we didn't have PTO. We had sick days, we had personal days, and we had
That's the thing.
vacation.
We
So we
had
gave them 2
So that's
personal
why you
days.
did away with the
Yes.
personal days.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
all,
All right.
Yes,
yeah.
it's PTO is sick, personal, and vacation all rolled up in one.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter if you're sick or you want to
Do
take a
whatever.
vacation or not, I mean, it's the hours you've earned, so.
Yeah, the problem is, it works fine for everybody except the ones that want to abuse the policy there.
Okay.
I have a question. So the 10 hours that you remain for a PTO with FMLA, is that in the
That's
anywhere in
ours.
the county. So can that be re-entered as in the 10 days of PTO bank only applies to the FMLA of the continuous FMLA of 12 weeks instead of the intermittent?
If it's the county policy and it's not an FMLA law, then the commissioners could change the policy to allow for that, yes.
So that may be an option of some.
If they want to change the policy, yes.
So that way, if they are on intermittent, where they can still take 480 hours in a calendar year, but over here, they're banking up to 80 hours of PTO time, that would eliminate them being able to utilize, you know, come right
Yeah, the short answer is, we built in that extra time.
Right.
And before we had 0. What I don't know the answer to is, can we delineate between the two different?
Right.
Can we do this for this kind of FMLA and this
Yeah.
for this? I don't know the answer to that.
I agree FMLA is a real, you know, first of all, it's federal, but it is important. It's just this intermittent side of it that is getting to, you know, people figure out, okay, how it's gonna benefit me personally, but it's just the world in which we live in.
Okay, what else we need to do here today? What did we accomplish? That's the question.
I
Lots
think,
of things we have to look up.
well, I think if possible, we need to check and see if we can change the policy to help address it.
Yeah.
And you need to decide too, do you want to start requiring a second opinion?
I think we need to do that.
Because if you do, I mean,
That's
I think
something
that
we need to vote on.
Or is that something you want us to call you on, like
Well,
case by case?
It's already in the handbook.
But you do it by
Right,
case
but how, are we doing it for all of them, or are we just doing it on case? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, to me, it's a
I
case,
think,
it has to be a case-by-case basis.
that's what I'm saying is, then who makes that decision?
Okay,
That's my question.
Okay.
You're right. I agree with you. You don't say everybody.
right.
I would think it would be the commissioner's decision. I mean, the department head could call the commissioners and say, I've got this happening, and like what Robin has done, and then the commissioners, because you could pay for it out of the health insurance account.
Well, that was, because you
That's
you
where
were
I would
reading
think
my
of as
mind.
the health
That's where I was
insurance
going
account,
next.
so it's in
Where
your
do we pay
budget.
for these second opinions?
Yeah, so it would be up to you to decide case by case, and we pay it out of the health insurance account when we get the bill. But I mean, I think this would help slow the bleed if we start requiring a second opinion.
I agree with that.
Also,
I
I think we need to find out, can we ask for a doctor's note if the paper's written 2 occurrences per month, 1 to 2 days a time, so let's say 4 days. After those 4 days, can we ask for a doctor's note, or can we even ask for a doctor's note when they're
We
taking?
cannot ask for fitness for duty on intermittent leave.
But she's saying if they are approved for 3 days and they call in for a 4th day,
No,
that's not FMLA
No,
on the
that's-
4th day.
that's
Because it's accrued for the entire year.
well, the doctor's only giving them it's like on the intermittent FMLA, it's like the doctor's giving them 3, but they're trying to call in a 4th.
Yes,
No,
you can't do that.
no,
No, it's
not
not
if the
covered.
doctor,
They're not
not if the
covered.
doctor says 3. I don't think you can just, I mean,
Okay, question. So his paperwork says 1 to 2 occurrences per month, 1 to 2 days per occurrence. Okay, so we call in on day 1 and we take Monday and Tuesday. We work Wednesday, then we take Friday off. To me, that's your 2 occurrences.
Yes,
And then you work a week, and then the next week you call in on Monday. To me, that's occurrence 3, and that's when I ask for the fit to return to me. Right or wrong, that's, even though his paperwork said he could have 4 days, but he already had his 2 occurrences.
Because it says 1 to 2 days per occurrence.
Right.
So that's the 3rd occurrence.
Okay, I wanted to make
So
sure.
to me, that one's not covered under an FMLA because it's a 3rd occurrence. And the letter only says 2 occurrences, 1 to 2 days each.
That's how I was interpreting it, and that is why I asked for a doctor's note.
And it turned out it wasn't an FMLA.
But I wouldn't know that
If you
if I
hadn't have asked.
hadn't asked, because he was still trying to use FMLA.
well, I think all of this, I think, and Rick asked the question at the beginning, it's not just your department, it's everybody's. I think maybe this also brings some attention to, maybe we need to be a little more strict on how call in, because again, the one thing it does say about FMLA is they are supposed to give if at all possible, they're supposed to give us advance notice. So
Yeah,
we
you
can-
can't, to me, this calling in 30 minutes before you start your shift,
That's not right.
The only
It's
thing
not
is though,
for
if it's like something
FMLA.
that flares up, you know, that's where it's a, but even just like sick days, you know, what is there a uniform of like,
there's not.
Yeah.
It's all across the board.
and again, the problem with it is everybody's gonna treat it different, cause some bosses are gonna say, oh, it's okay, you can just call me 5 minutes before, you know, and then some jobs like yours
Yeah.
that you don't function, you know, somebody doesn't call into the prosecutor's office, somebody, you know, just covers. Yours, you guys have assignments for the day and people are gonna be here and dependent on this and this and this. Some person doesn't come in, it breaks a chain, right? And you can't go for it. So I know why you're frustrated. I get it.
And I
So
guess
she-
when they call in and just say, I'm sick, or text and say, sick using an FMLA day, and they're still within their right, how do you really know that
You
they're
don't.
off for that reason?
You don't, but
You
if, according to that though, if they're still within their FMLA letter of 2 occurrences, you can't ask. That's the unfortunate. But I mean, it
But that third
started
occurrence
here, but it could bleed into other county departments, so we need to, if at all possible, tighten it up to where we can't have these loopholes.
Okay. All right. Do you have your answers, Robin? Do you have your answers, Mary?
Well, we have more answers to bring to you. We'll have more.
Well, and what about the second opinion and by case? Do we need to put that in the policy?
The second opinion is case by case, and it's the commissioner's decision to ask for that second
I
opinion.
mean, I think it just says we have the right to,
In writing though?
Hmm?
Can we get that in like an email writing that gets sent to us? So we know that that got approved by you to get a second opinion?
Oh,
Cause
yeah,
the department
It would
has
have
to be
to
like,
be.
oh.
It would have to
Okay.
be.
yes.
Okay.
okay, county reserves the right to require a second medical opinion from an independent medical provider. County shall pay for the second opinion, including reasonable out-of-pocket travel expenses, shall designate a provider who is not employee of the county. If the 2 opinions conflict, the county shall pay for a third opinion.
Okay.
Third opinion is binding.
Well, I mean, if somebody goes into the walk-in clinic and they go, well, you got a heart condition, okay? And they take 2 days, and then they call in and go, oh, we're gonna take another one because of my heart condition. I think that's when we need to step up and go, well, we're gonna get you an appointment. If somebody's got a heart condition, you probably shouldn't be working anyway.
Right. Well, and if the individual, or like, cause again, remember FMLA can be not only for me, it can be like, if my wife, I'm taking it for my
Right,
wife.
I took FMLA to take my husband to chemo. But
Right.
the oncologist is the one who filled it out, saying he needs a ride to and from for the sickness. So
If they
that-
don't-
And I get that.
If they don't cooperate with the second opinion, then their FMLA can be denied.
Okay. All right.
So in this process though, do we need to, 'cause, when they first apply for FMLA, say we want a second opinion?
I think you need to see what the opinion said, their first opinion says before.
But I mean, because it's gonna be case by case, so like in this case that just got turned in this morning, at what point when, and that's why
At
we
what
need it
point
step
do
by
you ask
step.
for a second opinion?
Yes,
Well, I mean, it's, the stuff that I read last night was if you have concerns over what the serious health condition is, or if you have concerns over the reasonableness of the request.
Like I agree with what Andy said, if they get an FMLA turned in by the clinic that says they have a heart condition,
Yeah, that's,
then-
that's
no,
absolutely.
that needs to
now
come
what about
from
the
a
first
heart
one though that has a heart
doctor.
condition? And it has restrictions, so can they now say?
After 30 days, you can ask for recertification.
And
That's what I
then, and
said.
in that, we can say we want a second opinion.
Well, I think you ask for recertification, and if they bring it back to you, then you say, go get a second. I don't think we can say automatically get a second opinion. I mean, second
I don't
opinion is
either,
exactly,
but
I mean, I think
my
you have to
main-
wait till you get the
My
first.
main question is, if it says they can't do these job functions,
Well, that's a different thing. That's a different thing.
well, it's on their paperwork though, is what I'm
Right.
saying. If they can't do these job functions, do we have to accommodate them?
That's another question I'm
Okay.
answering. That's another thing that I have
I
to deal
didn't
with.
I didn't know you were looking into that one, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole separate subject of can they do their job? And if they can't do their job, do we have a job that they can do?
Is there a-
Replace
yeah.
it?
What
Yeah,
do
because
you do with it?
according to what I was reading on the FMLA, if their normal job, they can't do it because of their restrictions, you are supposed to find them something
You
that
have to
they can
find-
do.
Well, you have to make
You have to make a
you get
reasonable.
an effort. I mean, if
Yes,
you
a
can't,
reasonable
To find them
accommodation.
something else to do.
so if I'm a CDL driver and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, the only other job I have is, you know, doing
So they can clean bathrooms or whatever
quick,
then?
well, I mean,
Sweeping a broom,
Yeah.
using a broom or, yeah, you have to
Wouldn't that
make,
affect also like a heart thing if they're due DOT license?
Yeah, it should. If you go into a doctor with your CDLs and you're under a heart condition or surgery or whatever, they get pulled. They should get pulled by that doctor immediately. And then you gotta go back and get a re-physical to get them back.
Our clinic is passing our guys with AFib that is on this one. The clinic said, I looked at his notes, he's good for a year, even though he's going in and out of AFib. Then we have another gentleman, your sugar's too high, you could have a heart attack, so you only get your CDL every 30 days.
but that's, we can't control
Right,
it. I mean, that's,
exactly.
ultimately, if something happens, that's on the person that approved it. We don't have control over that. It's just like this. What we can do is say, in this case, now I'm not talking about the CDL stuff, we're gonna make you get a second opinion. Because quite frankly, no disrespect, but somebody that's writing something from a clinic that isn't a doctor, that's giving us advice on how somebody should or shouldn't work with a heart condition, probably needs a second opinion.
okay. What else do we have to discuss?
I have two real quick. Am I okay one of the appraisers has already looked at the Baird property.
Yep.
But they sent me a letter of engagement and they want me to sign it. That's
Yep.
okay? Okay. The other thing is, this meeting next week on the 6th, we're gonna have some information, but we're not gonna have everything back. I mean, like, I think we have the hospital's appraisal.
Then let's postpone the meeting.
Well, I think we had a text chain going and we were kinda, I know we're gonna have we have the one from the hospital from down south, right?
We have one of two.
Right.
We got the one here.
So that's what I'm saying is until we get 4,
Yes.
2 and 2.
Yes,
And if somebody could because we were gonna do that with the council, right?
yes.
If somebody, well, I guess we can send out just a blanket email to
Yeah.
say, we're not gonna do it on the 6th because,
All meetings canceled.
So the joint executive is gonna be canceled.
Yep.
and there was going to be a joint,
Open.
Yes, to discuss the annex and
The
stuff.
annex stuff.
Do we
Yep.
still wanna have that one or cancel that one? Okay.
No, cancel that one too.
okay,
Because.
I had not personally.
Garmong was supposed to have us numbers.
Yeah.
They didn't have us numbers. They had us some numbers. They still had some things in there that I thought we'd taken out.
Okay. I'll notify
Hence the
the
skylight
council it's
thing.
canceled.
but-
Only thing I
Thank you,
know, I'm
Christine.
gonna be gone from the 23rd till the 30th.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, I think we'll have those appraisals soon. I
Yeah.
just don't think we're gonna have them by in the middle of next week.
Okay.
I've been in contact with Mr. Maston in the hospital, and I mean, they were, and I think that, like I said, the one lady, the Ms. Bowman that's doing the one, she's already inspected, the Baird property, she just hasn't done the report yet. And I think it's the same way I think Maston's the same way, he's inspected at least one of them, just, we don't have it, so, yeah, I think we're close, I think we're within a week to 10 days, I just don't know if the
Alright.
6th is gonna be.
All right.
You wanna go ahead and have that salary study meeting that day?
That what meeting?
I'm gonna send a joint text out again and see if we wanna have it that day, move it, or change the time, since we were gonna do it after these two meetings.
So what was
The
that?
what?
Salary study committee.
Oh, we're not on that, Rick. Tom is.
I have some
Good
time
deal.
both,
Hot dog.
I
Good
have
job,
some time
Tom.
both today and tomorrow. I have to go to, the only other appointment I have today is at 9 o'clock. I will sit down with this office and we'll formulate something, okay? We're trying to get it, but we were making phone calls to insurance, we're trying to figure out, because again, this is a tricky area, this is a very tricky area that, you know, the county went through a little ADA issue here the last year and a half, and we weathered that pretty well. But, I mean, these are the kind of things you have to be very careful about. I mean, you don't want to mess it up.
Understood. Anything else?
Thank you for having us take the time. Thank you guys for coming over. And
All right. We almost kind of sort of accomplished something, but
We
we're
did.
making
No, we did.
progress.
We
We're
did.
making progress.
We did.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.